Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks so much for being here. So this week's video is going to be another easy recipe. I am doing a really yummy lasagna that is going to take you no time at all to make, and it's made with wholesome ingredients. And this lasagna will basically be a lasagna that everyone will love, even meat eaters. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for being here. So this week we are making some vegetable lasagna. So you're going to need some mixed veggies, and I used a frozen bag of veggies like I showed you, and also this spinach that I thawed out, and I used that whole package. These are just some whole grain noodles that I found, and tomato sauce that is oil-free. And you are just going to add all your veggies to the pan, and you are going to water saute them, and you will be adding some bouillon as well. If you don't have any, then don't stress about it, but if you do have it, it will add extra flavor and make all the difference. Now, I don't add any extra oil to my pan because that's going to increase the calorie content for my meal, and I want to cut down on that, so I'm not using any oil in this recipe. So after my veggies have cooked down a little bit, I'm also going to be throwing in that thawed spinach, and I just give it a quick little mix just to make sure everything has cooked through. And any extra seasonings that I want to add, I'm just going to go ahead and add that in right now, like some garlic powder or onion powder, whatever it is that you want to add, you can go ahead and do that at this point. Now, this is my version of Jill McKeever. I think it's McKeever is her last name. She makes a cheese sauce that's really, really nice. I just altered it to my liking. Like I always say, even in my recipes, you know, if you want to alter it, do it to your taste, add or, you know, eliminate things that you don't really like, but just keep the basis of the recipe. And that's kind of what I did with this cheese sauce. So, and then I'm just throwing in my noodles and cooking it according to the package, and throwing my tomato sauce into a pan, and I'm adding some seasonings and some fresh basil to my tomato sauce. So I just added some salt and black pepper, and I believe some oregano is what I threw in there as well. So you're just going to heat up that tomato sauce while your noodles are cooking away, and you don't want to overcook your noodles, so just keep an eye on them. And then the cheese sauce is already done because that was done in the blender, and then I just transferred it to a pot so that I can thicken up. Now, in Jill's recipe, she says to keep running your Vitamix, and that's how she does it, but I just feel like I might blow the motor, so I decided I'm just going to throw it into the pot, and like I said, I did modify that recipe a little bit. So I have fresh basil in my kitchen, so I'm just going to be using some of that in the sauce because to me it makes a really big difference in the tomato sauce. Even if it's store-bought, I still like to add my own seasonings to it, and of course herbs. So this is the veggie mix, and of course the tomato sauce, and then I've got the tofu as well that I made, and the cheese sauce, and all of that is going to be used in this yummy lasagna, and it's going to be layers and layers of this delicious goodness. I'll have the full description of the recipe in the description box in this video, so don't worry about measurements, I will have it all there. So I am just breaking up that one block of tofu, and then I'm going to be adding some seasonings and a little bit more of that better than bouillon as well, or whatever broth you have. You can just, instead of cooking the tofu in water, you can cook it in some of the broth, and it's just got to be oil free, and it could be the broth in the Tetra packs. That would be perfectly fine in this recipe. You just want to add some extra flavor. So you just want to grab a large lasagna casserole dish, or you can use two smaller ones and just make two lasagnas, whatever is easier for you. So I like to add some of that tomato sauce to the bottom because I don't oil my pan and I don't want anything to stick. So by adding that sauce to the bottom, it's going to keep my lasagna from sticking, and that way when I cut it, it won't, you know, just completely fall apart on me. So I'm just starting off with that. So now I'm going to start layering the noodles down. And I'm just going to be doing that, and then I can start putting the mixture on top and keep layering until I have no more room in this casserole dish, and that's basically all I did. So as far as the veggies go, you could use whatever you have on hand. You can use fresh veggies if you need to use them and they are about to spoil. Well, don't throw them away, just, you know, make them into this lasagna, why not? So you can do that. I just always have frozen veggies on hand, so that's what I use a lot of the time. but you use whatever it is that you have that needs to be used up. This is a perfect way of using up all those extra veggies that may go bad. You can just add them into this lasagna and it's going to taste amazing. So now I'm just adding a little bit more tomato sauce on top of those noodles, and I don't put a ton, I just put enough to kind of coat it. And then I'm just going to put the veggie mixture on top of the noodles, and then like I said, just keep on layering. So as far as the lasagna noodles go, just pick any lasagna noodle that you can find that is the healthiest. So for me, I really like brown rice noodles, and I love brown rice pasta, any kind of pasta. I couldn't find it at my local Walmart or any of my grocery stores. I don't know if there's a bit of a shortage going on, but I couldn't find what I was looking for. So I ended up having to order from Amazon, and Amazon had a whole wheat noodle, and I thought, well, that's great. That'll work really well, and it's very nutritious. So that's what I'm using in the lasagna. So now I'm going ahead and adding the tofu mix, and I guess this would kind of be like the ricotta in a typical lasagna, but this worked really, really well. I would not skimp out on the tofu because the tofu just added a whole other dimension to this lasagna, and you know, it increased the protein, and it was just so tasty. So yeah, I mean, you can make it without it if you want to, but I really think that it will be the best lasagna if you put the tofu in. So I would not skip that step. So the thing with homemade cheese sauce is you can customize it to your liking, which is great. You can make it runnier, you can keep it thick, just add some more warm water to your cheese mix and that will thin it out depending on what you're doing with it. I kept it on the thicker side because I really wanted it to kind of hold my lasagna together, and I wanted it to be quite cheesy. And I felt that if I made it too runny, then I wouldn't get the consistency that I was looking for. And I'm kind of glad that I did. So I just kind of like patted it down with a spoon, and it worked really well, and I smoothed it all out. I probably could have even put more cheese sauce, but I just didn't want to overdo it. So yeah, I just kept on layering and adding that cheese and the tofu and the veggies in. And then I'm adding some tomato sauce because you need that extra moisture in there. And I don't load on the tomato sauce. I know a lot of people really like to, but I cover the top with sauce as well, and so it kind of, and then I seal it so it kind of keeps it very moist. I'm not too worried about overdoing it with the tomato sauce because I know that overall it will be covered really well. So yeah, you're just watching me making another layer because I'm gonna fill this dish until I absolutely have no more room, and that's what I did. So I had some lasagna noodles left over actually, and I just kept that and had it as a snack actually, with the extra veggies, and that's pretty much it. You just keep on layering it, and then for the top layer, I just covered it with just tomato sauce. But I probably should have put some more of the cheese on top because I think that that would make it even more epic. So next time I make it, I will be adding a little bit of cheese on top and then popping it into the oven. But it still tasted amazing, and I really enjoyed it. And this lasagna is super healthy. It's made with wholesome ingredients. There is no added oils in it. You can eat this and feel really good about eating it, and it's going to keep you full for a really long time. And that's what you want. You want to be eating meals that are hearty, that are keeping your belly full, so you have energy to go throughout your day. You don't want to have these tiny little salads and be worried about all the calories you are consuming. This is not a typical lasagna. A normal lasagna is going to pack in at a lot more calories because of that really, you know, high calorie cheese. And then of course people put the animal products in it. So you're not doing any of that in this lasagna. So already your calorie content is going to be so much lower. So you don't have to worry about that. And you're eating actual real food. You know, you're not eating processed junk. This is actual real food, wholesome food, and there's nutrition in your lasagna. You've got so many veggies going on in this lasagna, so you can feel really good about serving your family this lasagna, and you know, even eating it for a couple days in a row. You don't have to feel bad about having it. It's not indulgent, it's just a really healthy and balanced meal. So another thing that I really love about this lasagna is I felt that I didn't waste very much money in making this lasagna at all. It was very low cost because lasagna noodles, like I said, I had bought them on Amazon and they were quite cheap. The tomato sauce, or just the Walmart brand tomato sauce, which were also very cheap. And again, it's that oil-free sauce in a can. So, I mean, and then like even the cheese sauce is made with oats. It's all ingredients that I already had in my pantry. So, you know, veggies can be bought frozen, very inexpensive, or you can use your leftover veggies. Like I said, if you've got stuff that's about to go bad, you can throw that in this. So, I mean, overall, I did not spend very much money to make this huge lasagna, and I had so many servings, and I was able to bring so much of it for 2 days. I brought it to work with me for breakfast and lunch, and yeah, this was absolutely delicious and didn't cost me very much to make. So if we ever get out of lockdown here in Toronto, then this is definitely a meal that I would love to make and have people over. And it won't cost me that much money to make, like I said, and it will feed so many people. And it's so tasty and delicious, and even meat eaters, definitely they will love this lasagna still because it's so filling and so tasty. So this is it coming out of the oven, and I covered it up with foil. If you have a dish cover for your casserole dish, you can just put that on and then cook it in the oven. That would be even better. You're not using foil. So I don't have one that fits, so I had to use foil and just cook it for an hour, and it's going to do its thing in the oven and you can go about your day. So really the only time consuming part is making the components to the whole lasagna, the different elements like the veggies and your tofu. But then once you've got that done, you can assemble it quickly and then it goes into the oven and it's fuss free. So this is it. I just cut up a piece, and like I said, next time I'm going to add some of that amazing cheese sauce on top of my lasagna so you can get a hit of that yummy cheesiness on the top of the lasagna. I think that would just kick it up a notch and make it even better. So that's it, guys. Here is my very simple best ever vegan lasagna. This lasagna is so good. I really think you should try it. I will have the recipe in the description box, like I said earlier, so that you can make sure that you are adding all of the right amounts into your dish. And yeah, let me know if you make it and let me know how it works out. And if you altered it in any way, let me know what you did differently. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks so much for being here this week. And to all my new subscribers, welcome to the channel. And if you've got any ideas for any upcoming videos, drop me a comment below and let me know.